Hey, what is going on, all my fellow godlies and Warframe enthusiasts around the world? This is Vance from the ever-popular web series of Warframe God Builds, and we're on the eve of Chains of Horror. And I don't think that there's anybody as excited as I am. Like, I've been announcing to pretty much all my friends that I talk to that as soon as this update drops, I'm gonna go to work on the Horror trailer. I've already written out a script for it, and, you know, he looks exactly like an Egyptian god. I'm not going to say who it is, but if you googled this guy's name, you would see pictures that pretty much look like exactly like this. However, with all these updates that are coming that I am excited for and I'm praising DE for, there is one addition here that's not exciting in the least bit. And that's the dual wield thrown melee and secondary weapons. And then you're probably asking yourself, why are you not excited about that, Vance? Well, it's simple. What melee weapon in the entire game is worth it that's throwable? Is there a single one? No, there's not. Let me just go ahead and answer that for you. There's not. There's not a single throwable melee in the game that is worth a shit. They all fall off too soon. None of them can contend with in-game content. You know, I have level 140 heavies that are my crash dummies. And out of all the throwing melee weapons that I've had, none of them can contend with the heavies. None. Not a single one. Realistically speaking, back in the day, everybody and their grandma would carry around a glaive prime so that they could throw it into a nullifier bubble and blow it up from the inside. There was nothing wrong with that. That was completely fair, because really you were sacrificing your melee just to kill nullifiers. That was completely fair, and that nerf was unjustified, just like the gas and stealth nerf, which was also unjustified. But this is the problem with little sissy fuckboys on the forums. They go and they piss and moan about things that are overpowered, and they get things nerfed. I could agree to some extent that gas plus stealth was overpowered on XCal and maybe the Zenistar, but that's why Digital Extremes should have tweaked those weapons and those warframes, because what nerfing the entire system realistically did was made Orvius worthless. I used to use Orvius on Loki, because if you built for gas and then you went invisible and you did a channeled attack, it would kill level 140 heavies in like 2 to 3 hits. There was nothing wrong with that. It wasn't overpowered, but because Excalibur and Zenistar was overpowered using gas plus stealth, the whole system gets nerfed, and therefore Orvius is worthless. Now, I will say that with Orvius, in this update, you probably could utilize like this new sniper pistol that's coming, the Neil. I think that's, yeah, the Neil. So if you used Orvius in conjunction with the Neil, you could probably channel your melee, hold them still, and then get the headshot really easily. But the problem that kind of pushes forward is the fact that this is shaving critical moments of DPS straight out of your arsenal. In the amount of time that it takes to even do the throwing animation for the Orvius, the Tenno next to you would have mowed them down with a Tenora. It's not practical, is what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a cool feature, but anywhere beyond mid-tier level gameplay or co-op gameplay, it's just not going to be practical at all. Which leads me into believing that that's why we're getting melee ribbon mods, is because they know that the throwing melees suck, and in order to push them to a place where they need to be, they put ribbons into the game. And this is the first time you will ever hear me say that we don't need something good in the game. Because Dragon Nakana, Nakana Prime, War, Broken War, the list goes on and on. Sindo Prime, Galatine, none of them need ribbons. None of them. Oftentimes we resort to killing enemies with only our melees because the primaries and the secondaries fall off too quick. So we don't need ribbon mods. There's no big need for them at all. Never mind the fact that if you go into sorties, you're probably going to farm like 10 primary and secondary ribbon mods before you even get a single melee ribbon mod, and then your really hoping that the melee ribbon mod you unveil is a throwable, so that the throwables are worth it. And knowing my luck, like, personally, my top favorites are like Orvius, Kestrel, and then Glaive Prime. And knowing my luck, I'm gonna get a Halakar or a Serata before I get a Glaive or a Kestrel or an Orvius. And then on top of that, if you do get one of the weapons you're looking for, it's probably going to be a shitty ribbon mod, and you have to re-roll it multiple times, doing multiple Kuva floods. It's like grind upon grind upon grind, which adds to the value of marketplace. It's Digital Extremes is rewarding themselves for being lazy. Rather than buffing throwable melees, they're just going to throw in melee ribbon mods. I mean, maybe I'm being too much of a pessimist here. I don't think that I am. I think that the practical solution would be to buff throwable melees and to bring back some of the things that were great about throwables, like power throw and make it explode and kill a nullifier. The gas plus stealth bonuses should probably work with throwables. I think that this is just a band-aid. Like, in no circumstance is it ever going to be useful for you to capitalize on wielding a secondary with your throwable. The amount of time that it's going to take you to capitalize on both of them, somebody else is just going to... They're either going to use their powers or their weapons to kill it in the amount of time that it takes for you to throw your weapon. So I don't see the practicality here. It would be much better. It would be more realistic for them to allow you to use any single-handed melee weapon with any single pistol. Can you imagine the effectiveness of an Acrid with an Adder Axe? Like, think about them viral procs that you can capitalize on, and then the slash. That's bleed and poison damage that you're and like, if you use that loadout with an Ember who has flash accelerant, do you know the amount of dot damage that you could capitalize on? This is a complete missed opportunity. It really is. And I'm very torn. Often, like, with the Sissy Frame series, you hear me complain and complain and complain and complain. But with everything else, like Reforged, I praise all these different updates. It's like, I'm very torn. I want to quit the game because of all the bullshit laziness. But I also want to I just want to keep playing the game because of awesome things like Haro and the new enemies and the Earth Tile set and all the Space Barbie, the Tennogen stuff that we get is amazing. It's like, I don't know. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time ranting. DE does an amazing job, but it would be just nonsense for you to sit here and act like they're not lazy, because they definitely are. I commend them for releasing the content that they do, but this was just flat out a bad idea. It was just a bad idea. If we got a throwing melee buff before we got this update, or if they allowed us to use any single-handed melee with any single-handed gun, then yeah, this update would be amazing. But I'm just trying to get you guys to realize what I've thought about all along. Maybe you don't see it this way. Maybe you already have an idea of what throwing weapon could be used in conjunction with the secondary to make it worth it. If you do, let me know in the comments section. Always feel free to shoot me your ideas and your feedback. And until next time, this has been Vance signing out. Peace.